You ever look up at the stars and just wonder, what is all this for? Where do we actually fit into the grand story of the universe? Well, today, we're going to dive into a really powerful idea that offers an answer, a way to think about our role in that whole cosmic evolution.
And really, this is the big question, isn't it? Is all of this just a cosmic accident? Or is there a direction to reality? Some kind of pattern that we're a part of? This whole explainer is built around the idea that yes, there is a pattern, and we are an absolutely crucial piece of it.
I mean, just look at the trajectory here. The universe kicks off with these simple, fundamental laws, but then over billions of years, it starts organizing itself. You get galaxies, then planets, and then, bam, something incredible happens. Life emerges. And finally, you get consciousness. The universe, through us, can now look back and understand itself. Every single step here is a massive leap in complexity, a new layer of order just appearing from the chaos.
And that, right there, brings us to this very moment. For the first time on this planet, a species, us, can not only think about the forces that made it, but can actually consciously choose where to go next. Think about that. We're not just passengers on this evolutionary ride anymore. We've literally been handed the steering wheel.
Okay, so if we're the ones driving, then what's the engine? To get that, we need to look inside our own minds. There are these two powerful, kind of competing forces that really define our experience. For our purposes, let's call them logic and magic. So think about this tension, right? It's inside all of us. On one side, you've got logic. That's the part of you that builds bridges, that writes code, that demands proof. It's the force that engineered the Saturn V rocket. But then, on the other side, you've got magic. That's where our art comes from, our love, our intuition, all the stuff that makes life actually feel meaningful. It was the dream of reaching the stars that inspired that rocket in the first place. Logic is our compass. It's what keeps us grounded in what's real, what's testable. Without it, we'd be totally lost in fantasy, unable to solve problems or build anything lasting. It's the tool that keeps us from going off the rails, the thing that protects us from believing things that just aren't true. But hey, a compass is pretty useless if you don't have a destination, right? And that's where magic comes in. And we're not talking about spells and wizards here. We're talking about that uniquely human drive for purpose, that feeling of connection, that spark of inspiration. It's the thing that tells us why we should even bother with the journey at all. So here's the key. This isn't some battle where one side has to win. A world of pure logic, it would be cold, empty, and meaningless. And a world of pure magic would be just chaotic. The real goal, the sweet spot, is bringing them together. So what happens when we actually do that? Well, when logic and magic start working together, in harmony, they create this incredible engine for growth. And it drives us toward two goals that are totally intertwined. This is where your personal journey hooks up with the journey of all humanity. And these are the two aims: self-actualization and progress. Self-actualization is your personal growth, right? Finding your meaning, reaching your potential. And progress is humanity's collective growth, our shared journey of discovery and invention. The thing is, they're not separate goals at all. They're basically two sides of the exact same coin. And this just shows you the beautiful, self-reinforcing cycle that's at play here. It starts with our inner drive for meaning, our magic, that motivates us to learn and to grow. That personal drive, when you combine it with logic, leads to new discoveries, new technologies. That's collective progress. And then that progress opens up brand new horizons for meaning, which starts the whole cycle all over again. They just keep feeding each other. It's amazing.
Okay, this is a really beautiful idea, but how do we actually do it? How do we build a world that encourages this kind of integrated growth? Well, that's the path forward.
The answer, really, it all comes down to education. If we want to cultivate this amazing integration of logic and magic, not just in ourselves, but for future generations, we have to fundamentally rethink how we teach and how we learn. So here are three really concrete principles. First, we've got to move beyond just memorizing facts. We need to teach for deep, intuitive comprehension, because that's where real innovation comes from. Second, we have to test for true understanding, not just whether someone can parrot back an answer. And maybe most importantly, we have to bring joy, play, and curiosity back into learning. They aren't distractions. They're the essential fuel for genuine discovery. So, by changing how we learn, we can literally change our collective future. We can consciously and with intention take up our role in the universe's grand story. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? Our personal search for meaning, it isn't just some private little quest. It's the very mechanism through which the universe itself keeps evolving towards something greater. We are active participants in creation. In other words, your personal journey for meaning isn't separate from cosmic evolution. It is the engine of it. So yeah, this is our great challenge. We have to keep our logic sharp as our compass for truth, making sure we stay grounded. But we have to let meaning, our magic, be the guide that chooses where we're going. When we finally get those two to work together, we can consciously and responsibly shape our own future.
You know, the story of the universe is still being written, and it seems like evolution has handed the pen to us. Your pursuit of your own potential, your contribution to our collective progress, that's your sentence, your page, your chapter. So the only question left is, what chapter will you help write?